We're back for week 4, aka Claire's last episode and also Tayshia's first episode. And sorry that this is out a little late. It almost seemed pointless to do this one, but I just could not miss recapping this episode. So let's do it. First of all, why does every intro recap start with Dale? We see Clare meeting Dale again. I mean, it's evidently the only storyline of the whole season so far, so I guess I understand. Also, you know what I was wondering? How far in advance did they contact Tayshia? Because they had to see this coming. Probably told her, like, hey, be on your toes. Claire is a little bit of a loose cannon, so we need you ready. Now we pan over to the guys who are all talking and are upset because Claire last episode didn't give out a rose because she didn't get what she wanted. And someone says, well, if you gave us the same attention you gave Dale, maybe someone would have earned one. And the guys want answers, understandably. And you can just feel it all starting to brew here. Claire can get away with this no longer. But in the meantime, Claire is journaling, just talking about how she's falling in love with Dale. Now, Chris comes in to talk to Claire, and this is apparently a surprise visit. And he tells her this is a serious talk, as if every other talk that they have isn't serious. Chris comes out and tells her the guys are unhappy and they're confused. And Claire, they're not dumb. And this was the line where you could see it in her face, that her free vacation with Dale just ended. And then Claire goes on to say that she respects this process. Oh, you do? Do ya? I'm not even going to try to explain why that makes no sense, because there are way too many reasons. But we go back kind of to this love at first sight thing, because she says, no, scratch that completely. She says the universe stacked it in our favor, meaning her and Dale, or in other words, she stalked him on social media first and realized that she loved him. Now, she admits it was built up a little bit before she got to the show, so okay, good. But she swears that they did not have any interaction before they met that first night. Could be true, but you can develop a serious crush on somebody just by stalking their social media. I've been there. Shouldn't have told you that. But she shouldn't have done that. Look where we are. But she just keeps finding ways to justify herself for falling in love with Dale so soon. And she says, Dale is my match and he just continues to show up for me. It's cute the way she feels about him. It is, okay? But he wasn't showing up for her. She was vigorously seeking him out. She had a room full of men and she was like, Dale. That's why he showed up, because you probably voodooed him to come to you. And so Chris asks her if in her mind it's over, as in the show. And she says yes. And then this is where the congratulations, you've just blown up the Bachelorette line comes in. And I think Chris tries to make it come off as he said that line, it was kind of just all in good fun. But in actuality, he deep down wants to kill her. Now I'm thinking she's got to go out and talk to all these guys. And hopefully she talks to Dale first. Otherwise, I'm thinking he's going to be taken a little bit off guard. Oh, this is a little forward, maybe a little too soon. Is she maybe a little crazy? When someone tells you that they love you on the second date, which essentially that's exactly what this is. But she doesn't come out to them right away because she can't do her own dirty work. That's what Chris is for. We got the boys talking about how they need clarity, clarity, clarity. That's the motto of the season because she doesn't give any, but they're about to get it right now. Cue Chris Harrison. Chris comes out and says, no cocktail party and no rose ceremony. See y'all tomorrow. Oh, wait, Dale, come with me. This is when your teacher tells you need to stay past the bell. See me after the bell rings. It's not bad news, though. I mean, it could be bad news, depending on how you take it. But Chris tells Dale that Claire deliberately decided not to have a rose ceremony because she just wants to spend more time with him. Why is Chris always the mediator? He's got to break up with people for Claire. He's got to ask people out for Claire, talk to the guys for Claire. So Claire's all dressed up and she's ready for a romantic date. But it was daylight and now it's dark. And I want to know what happened in between. We know they've all got roommates. Dale's got a roommate. What's the roommate thinking right now? Is Dale in there getting ready for something? I mean, I'm sure producers did their job, but I need the in-between. And if you're wondering, yes, I really like that red dress. But now they're together and sitting down, conversing, and it starts out just as some normal small talk. And Claire, and this was a weird part, in her normal kind of just deepish normal voice, she says, I picked this spot, but I feel like it might be haunted. And Dale comes out with kind of a cheesy line yeah, but it's a good energy. And Claire goes from her normal voice to, yeah. It's a 10 octave difference. And I'm just this, she's 39. Oh, some of the things she does. Okay, now I'm going to guide you through my thoughts as this date went on because I was thrown off a little bit. So while Clare is telling Dale that like she is confident she knows what she wants. First of all, Dale doesn't know what's going on here. She's like, I want to spend more time with Dale. And he's like, okay. Now she's coming out and saying, I know what I want. As she's saying this, to me, Dale looks frightened. He even at one point laughed and like quickly went back to his scared face. Clare had said to him, I didn't want to give any roses to the guys because I just wanted to give you a rose, but like you already had a rose. And here's Dale. I don't even think I'm exaggerating that much. Throughout this whole thing, despite his faces, Claire's smiling like she just smoked something. Side note, her parents' names are James and Lily. And then remember, it's okay, Harry Potter doesn't have a sister and Clare is not a witch. So this conversation is weird because Clare basically just spilled her guts and again, could be all taken out of context, rearranged, I don't know. But she's confessing her love and Dale just wants to talk about his parents. It was just a weird segue. I don't know if he was trying to change the subject, if he was like, oh, we better talk about this quick to make this make sense because we're really moving into things really, really quickly. But then behind the scenes, she says she wants to tell Dale she's so in love with him. What? It's 3 weeks in. And in Bachelor time, that's probably like 15 days. And then how much time she actually spent with him? Maybe 4 hours. But back to the guys on the resort talking this Chris and Dale drama, meaning like Chris took Dale for whatever. There's a scary side of Jason coming out. I think we saw a little bit of scariness on his one-on-one, but now it's right there in front of our faces. Don't resent me. If you resent, I'm gonna freak out. He was real mad. And I'm starting to question if he passed his personality test. Jason, I need you to tell us what the psychiatrist told you when she read you your personality test results. I'm half kidding because I do like Jason. Now, back to Clare and Dale, where she's basically telling Dale she's obsessed with him. I wake up, I think about you. I'm lying in bed, I think about you. Now, you'd think this might scare him away, but no. Apparently, Dale is also in love with Clare, or falling in love with Clare. That was the verbiage. So those scared faces were another production ploy. I'm still not convinced though. I'm feeling a lot of one-way love from the two of them. And I think I give the relationship 2 months. I'm sorry to say that. It's just the vibe. Then, whenever you have a good date, you have to go dance to people singing. So they go and they dance to this Listen to Your Heart couple. I wouldn't know because I didn't watch that stupid show. And while they're dancing, Claire's kind of freaking me out. She can't keep her tongue inside of her mouth, but not because they're kissing. It was just, I don't know what happened. But then they end up in the bedroom to what I'm assuming is their fantasy suite date. They just jumped right into that. The lights turn off, then they wake up together. It's the morning. You know how it goes. They're talking to each other like, wow, what's going to happen next? Nobody knows. I know what you need to do, Clare. There's a resort full of 15 really confused guys who have been sitting at a pool wondering what's going on while you're sleeping with Dale. That's the first step. So Dale leaves her room inevitably, and Clare is like posing in the doorway as he's walking away. And he doesn't look back at her. To me, that's red flag number 1. And before Dale walks into the resort, we see Chris and Clare having another talk. Clare tells him, the cameras went away and Dale was even better than I expected. I wonder what that means. And I told him I loved him and he didn't run away. And he loves me too. And Chris is staring at her and he looks like he just sat in something wet and says, oh, guess what, Clare? Guess what happens next? Proposal. No, but really, that's how this works. It's in the contract. Okay, now I thought that the show itself is a little bit quick for a proposal to begin with. Now it's like, come on, ABC, I think we're pushing it a little bit. Yeah. And now how does this go? Does Clare go to Dale and say, hey, can you propose to me today? Or does Chris do the dirty work again? Well, I'll let you take one guess. It's the easiest answer. Also, when are we going to find out which boy band Kenny manages? Now. Clare comes in to talk to the guys. It's very hard for her to get her words out, which obviously she's like struggling. And then she just drops a bomb. I came here for love and I found it with Dale. Bing, bang, boom. She said it like a little bit more softly than that, but on paper she dropped a bomb. On the plus side, she did at least like put an end to this early on before leading a bunch of guys on throughout this whole thing. Although I don't think that was her choice. I think they forced her into that. So she finishes up her speech, and Kenny, on behalf of everyone, asks for an apology. He thinks she owes them one, which I can kind of see. But Clare is not going to apologize for love. She apologizes if she wasted their time. She's not apologizing for love. And it appears most of the other guys in the room are going against Kenny. Even Jason. And we all know Jason is pissed off. And I give this group a lot of credit because that was some serious maturity that they showed. They congratulate and respect her decision. I can think of a large handful of previous contestants that would never do that. So good job, boys. Blake, on the other hand, he's a little bit on the side of Kenny here. He's very vocal about it. He claims she knows nothing about Dale. He thinks she's going to get hurt. I feel like that's probably true. Like, yeah, Claire, you feel like it's a good partnership, but you probably don't know his middle name. You don't know if he's allergic to your dogs. Now, cut to Chris Harrison, who's FaceTiming Neil Lane to let him know, we need you a little bit earlier than previously anticipated. Yep, we're going to need you today. We never get to see the meeting with Dale and Neil. I don't think it even happened because Neil, I'm sure he didn't quarantine. They probably just had all the rings there ready to go. Now, keep in mind, Dale still doesn't know that he's supposed to propose to Claire. All of this is going on, and he's just, I had a great night with Claire last night. And we go into his private interview where he's talking about how nice it is to know that they love each other, and now there's just no pressure, just, take the time to explore this relationship. Time out, because here comes Chris. Hey, Dale, Claire broke up with everyone. She was 15 timing you, but now you're the only one left, and she's waiting for a proposal. How psycho does that make her sound? I highly doubt that this is what she wanted, but it sounds like she's sitting in her room, dressed nice, waiting for Dale to show up with a ring. Hi, Dale. Are you ready? And the guys are still in the house during all of this. Were they told to stick around for a little bit? Did they need them for some commentary? They know it's over. But Claire came out and told them it's over. Obviously, these were unprecedented times, and the show had to figure out what to do. What are we going to do here, guys? But I gotta say, I think this was always a backup plan since like season 1. Like, okay, we've got our leading person. Something happens to them. What are we going to do? And then you decide to put Claire Crawley in there. You really need a backup plan. And now Claire is kind of freaking out because she's worried that there's going to be too much pressure on Dale and she doesn't want to ruin a good thing. Duh. Oh, and she's begged guys to love her in the past. She's begged guys to love her. When does that ever work? Unless you're Cassie and Colton and know how that ended up. So Chris comes in to give her some advice and he tells her to just trust. This, Claire, is the biggest hurdle for you to get over. And if you don't jump this hurdle, ABC is going to fire me. So just get over it. So she's dressed in her nice white engagement dress, and Chris walks her out to the final rose where she awaits Dale. And this is weird. It's week 4, and we are at the finale. Then Chris comes back out. He tries to make it suspenseful, like, Claire, I got to tell you something. The number of setups in this episode. You know what he tells her? Just want you to know I'm proud of you. So proud of you. Pointless. And here comes Dale. And as he comes out, he's kind of stoic and looking a little bit unexcited, but they've been throwing us off this whole episode, so doesn't mean anything. Claire starts, I just can't believe that this is like, we're at the final rose right now. But Claire's giving her speech, the love at first sight speech, and talking about her family. And I'm just thinking, like, he's never met her family. He just learned their names, never been to her house, doesn't know what car she drives. How are you about to propose right now, at least with confidence? But he does. He proposes. Seemed like there was a little bit of hesitation there, though, before the proposal. Truthfully, this whole thing was extremely uncomfortable. Just being honest. My feelings are that Dale does really like her. I really think that he does. I don't think he wanted to propose. I think he felt like he had to based on the circumstances, and now is kind of just hoping for the best. So they get engaged, and he says, hey, let's do the damn thing. Becca Kufrin's stupid line that I thought we had enough of, but apparently not. And apparently now they're off to live their lives. And that's it. That's the story of Clare the Bachelorette. The story is not over for the guys that were left behind, so we need to go check in with them. And it looks like they're packing up their stuff, but again, it's for show because Chris Harrison is back, and he's giving the lowdown on Clare and Dale. Hey guys, they got engaged, but don't worry, we're about to make history right here. Listen, can you get over Claire? Because if you can, we got another one for you. And her name is... not telling you yet. And Blake and Jason are not looking like they're prepared for this. Jason even asks if he can have some time to just like clear his poor heart and his mind. But Chris says, nope, gotta decide tonight, please. And I was really hoping that Jason would stay, but I would have been completely understanding if he decided not to. Honestly, in my mind, if Blake stays, no matter what, there's going to be some question about his feelings for Tayshia, because he was like wrapped around Claire's little finger. And we're interviewing Jason, and he's struggling hard. And it seems like really up in the air that he's going to stay. And he's like rubbing his face, which how do guys rub their face like that when they're in distress? If I were to do that, I'd have 25 new pimples the next day. Not important, but they throw us off again, and Jason is staying. Doesn't look confident in his decision though. He's actually looking kind of mad about the fact that he's staying. So I am not putting my money on him sticking it out. I just don't think it's going to happen. But we're back to good. Chris gives a new intro for their new Bachelorette, doesn't say her name, and we are starting over. Night 1, round 2. And here comes Tayshia next week. But we do get to see a little bit of Tayshia, and she seems ready for this, and I'm feeling excited for her. I am a Tayshia fan. And then the previews. The previews show that we have an after the final rose with just Clare and Dale, just the two of them. And I get it's COVID, you can't have an audience, but I think they deserve to feel the heat of the audience for the way that this all panned out. Is there a men tell all? If there's not, Clare just like skated by like it was nothing. Then we get a clip of Tayshia's first night where everything is about to change, and I'm pretty sure that just means there are new guys coming in for her. But that's it. That was a really fun episode for me. I don't know about you guys. And I'm definitely curious to see how the rest of this goes, but I also kind of feel like the season is over. It's obviously not, but it feels like it is. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry, I'm very late this week. It's just been a crazy week, as I'm sure you all know. But I will be back for next week's episode, and I'll see you all then.